I think a couple of things. One is that the government needs to incentivize all sorts of competition. So especially competition from smaller players. We have what 85% of the market controlled by very familiar names, and that needs to change. It means that there's only about 15% of the market controlled by everybody else, all the other alternate providers you can think of. So that number, that 15% number, probably has to double or triple for us to really see like real competition and prices being affordable. That being said, outside of the government, I think alternate or independent ISPs need to build their own networks, as the government keeps trying to incentivize them to do, but not properly. And in building those networks, those alternate ISPs need to not neglect the marginalized. So they shouldn't just turn into the new big red or big blue, whatever. They should build their networks around communities that are marginalized and typically disenfranchised or underdeveloped. Couple of things. One is that we should start with privacy and security. Start with figuring out how people can be online in a way that protects them and they are safe. And then get technology to do all the great things that it can do. So in a certain sense, be a little bit wary or ask good questions about big data, ask good questions about AI, ask good questions about all the technology we use and how they take over our lives, and start from there. I think also we thought about technology largely in terms of how can these really big conglomerate companies kind of help us, like the big companies should think of, the big four. And what we're going to have to figure out in the next 30 years, hopefully, will be how can we use technology to really build up local communities. And so organizations like community networks and whatever that looks like in a different setting, like the local community market or the marketplace, how can we use technology to incentivize that? And so it's not always going to be this shift from like, hopefully, mom and pop stores getting taken over by a big e-commerce giants, but how can we actually use technology to enable more local organizations and companies to thrive?